करकमलवरे नका मद्भुत शृंगा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृङ्गा केशवदृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल सर्वविघ्न विनाश लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. On behalf of our ISKCON founder Acharya, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, I would like to welcome all of you to ISKCON Naperville. Thank you for coming for today's Sunday Feast program. Is there anyone here for the first time? Anyone for the first time? Please come and receive a gift from us. Please come forward. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Please come. Hari bol. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. You are together? Oh, you are together. Hari bol. This Mataji is separately coming? You can please give that to him. I'll come and see you. But I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you all for coming. Welcome. So we were having a wonderful seminar with Her Grace Urmila Mataji for the past 4, including today, about 4 days, on the topic of Manashiksha, a book written by Raghunatha Dasa Goswami. So you are having that opportunity to hear from Urmila Mataji today. Just a brief bio. Urmila Mataji is one of the very senior disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. She is also known as Dr. Edith Best, and she served ISKCON community since she was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in 1973. Mataji and her husband, they are in the Vanaprastha order of life, those of you who understand what that is. Mataji will be speaking on that topic today. They have 3 married children. She has a PhD in education, and she was a primary and secondary school teacher for 27 years and has 19 years of experience with school management. Urmila Mataji also is the chair of Shastric Advisory Council to the GBC, an associate editor of Back to Godhead magazine, and a professor of sociology of religion at Bhaktivedanta College. She travels worldwide teaching Krishna consciousness. She's also the author of a book known as Dr. Best Learn to Read, 83 book literacy program, and another book, Great Mantra for Mystic Meditation. And of course, about 40 copies of the recent publication on Manashiksha was sold out during this seminar. So you can imagine, we all had a wonderful time, those of us who could attend, and you are very fortunate to be able to attend today's class. Today's lecture topic is work with a meaning. Let us give a warm welcome to Urmila Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I'm so sorry. It's hard. It's hard. How many sessions did you come for? You didn't come for anything. Well, it's online. Let's see it online. Or Hare Krishna? Do you Jai Radha? Does everyone here know the song Jai Radha Madhava? Who knows the song Jai Radha Madhava? Okay. Do we have any songbooks for people who don't know, or we have it written down, or? Let's do a few songbooks so the people who don't know, maybe we could get them a songbook. Yeah, there's some people who don't know. Raise your hand, we can get you a songbook. There was at least 2. Please, thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paramahamsa Asatara Sata Sri Srimati Sivangi Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shri Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shaimakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai, Mathura Dhama Ki Jai, Navadvip Mayapur Dhama Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai, Gangamai Jamuna Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnupadaya. Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nivasesa Sanyavadi Paskachade Satarane Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Scha Vanchakalpachubhishtar keep us in the Avataptitanam Pavanavyo Vaishnavi Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we're going to be speaking today from the Bhagavad Gita, and I think we have a table outside with Bhagavad Gitas available. Yes. How much are they? 10. Only 10. Good deal. Full of beautiful pictures. So we're going to be speaking just a little bit today from just one of the amazing topics in this wonderful book. If you already have copies of the Bhagavad Gita at home, we suggest that you get a copy to give to a friend. Do we also have Bhagavatams out there? Do you have a Bhagavatam for sale? Do we have the whole set or just volumes or the whole set? So we're also going to, what we're speaking tonight will also be referencing the Bhagavatam. So we're going to be looking today at the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, text 40. We're just going to read the translation. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Something in which there is no loss or diminution. All right. So we're looking today at finding value and meaning in our work. Specifically, we're looking at in the work that we do, whether we're working at a paying job, a volunteer job, whether our job is being a homemaker, to find real meaning and value in our work and ultimately, of course, in our life. So you may be familiar that with persons like Daniel Pink, who have proposed that the three main factors in being happy in our work is autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Or Hertzberg, who talked about four main aspects of being happy in our work, one of which is responsibility. You may also be familiar with very famous social scientist Csikszentmihalyi, who talked about getting into a flow, working in such a way that you lose track of time and space, you become completely absorbed in your work. And in his seminal book on flow, he has a whole section about how do we find meaning in our work. The research is there that unless our work is meaningful, unless it has value, we will not be satisfied with it. That's not the only thing. Krishna speaks at length in the Bhagavad Gita about how we have to do work that's in accord with our nature. There's other factors also that are important to satisfaction in work. But the fact that our work has some value or purpose is definitely primary. And I'm sure you know what it feels like when you do something that isn't valued, isn't it? Right? Who brought that up? Was that you? Yes. You know, we do work, we've worked hard at something for months, nobody uses it. I mean, at least if we get paid for it, we might think, okay, well, somebody values enough to pay me for it. But we want to see that it's used. We want to see that it makes a difference. We want to see that somebody cares. Sometimes it's so bad that not only is our work not used or appreciated, sometimes it's just criticized. You know, you can work for months or years on something, and you really put your heart into it, and all you do is get criticized, and it gets thrown into the trash bin. Then how do we feel? I mean, we feel hurt, we feel disappointed, we feel sad, we feel angry, maybe we even get bitter, and we think, you know, I've just wasted my time. So, what makes work valuable? And this is a very interesting question. As I was saying, Csikszentmihalyi has a whole section of his book on flow as to meaning. And he starts out by saying, what is the meaning of meaning? Honestly, this is a topic that I've been thinking about most of my life. How do we define value? How do we know that something's valuable and something's meaningful? Just because another human being says it's valuable? Just because somebody pays you? Does that make it valuable? What do we mean by that? If meaning and purpose and value is so intrinsically important to the feeling of satisfaction we get from what we do, then it would be a wise idea to know what meaning means. What do you think? Yes? And some of you are wondering, what does this have to do with the verse? We'll get there. First, we're going to look at something that we call honest work. I believe that most of what people consider to be meaningful or valuable work is really in the category of honest work. Then we're going to look at why honest work is not actually meaningful. In addition to which, it's almost impossible to do fully honest work. And then we're going to look at a higher principle. All right, let's look at honest work. So what makes work honest? And again, this is what most people in the world consider valuable. Well, first of all, that there's an equal transaction. That I pay what something's worth and I sell at what something's worth. Isn't it? Right? If I'm offering some goods or services and you're giving me something in exchange, that it's a fair exchange. I mean, we would definitely call work not meaningful if it was dishonest. You know, if I'm intentionally cheating. Right? In fact, many years ago, a friend of mine told me that someone had quit working in her cosmetics business, and she asked me, she says, it's an emergency, would you come help me? So because she was my friend, only because she was my friend, I said, all right, I'll come and help you. And so she had a kiosk in the mall, and it meant I worked there one day a week, and I was basically accosting people in the corridor and saying, hey, let me polish your nails. Seriously, I mean, really, that's what I was doing. And we had a little buffer, and so I'd go to people and I would buff their nails, and it would smooth out the ridges and make their nails more reflective. And they'd say, wow, you must have put oil on that. I said, no, listen, oil is just a buffer. Come buy it for $15. Now, the job really bothered me because I knew that what people were paying for this thing wasn't the real value of it. There were so many people along the line that were making money. There were so many middlemen in the middle that this thing that only cost 20 cents, people were paying $15 for, and it really bothered me. It wasn't actually honest. So there needs to be an honest exchange. And then another thing for honest work is that you have to be meeting people's needs. And I'll tell you, that nail buffer didn't meet anybody's need. There wasn't one of the people that I literally accosted in that corridor of the mall who had woken up that morning and going, look at those ridges on my nails. My nails are not reflective enough. Where will I find the proper product? Nobody needed that. And it really didn't add to anybody's quality of life in any way. Now, I mean, there's different ways of understanding needs. There's a lot of different psychologists, sociologists analyze what are human needs. Perhaps some of you are familiar with Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There's a big debate as to whether or not it's actually a hierarchy. If it was a real hierarchy, there wouldn't be any starving artists. But the principle that we have, basic physiological needs for proper temperature, for food, for water, for air. We have social interactive needs. We have emotional needs. And then we have also needs to express ourselves. So honest work would be work that's meeting people's real needs, that's not manufacturing a need. And by that criteria, we'd have to say that a lot of the work in the world today is not honest work, isn't it? And a lot of what people are producing, just like that nail buffer, nobody needs it. It doesn't really add to anybody's quality of life. Then another aspect to honest work would be that the process is honest. And the process is meeting people's needs. If you're producing food, obviously that meets people's needs. But if you're producing food by poisoning the soil, that's not honest work. You understand? Because although I'm meeting people's immediate needs, I'm doing so in a way that's depriving them of their future needs. I'm sowing the seeds of future suffering. So whatever I'm apparently meeting their needs, but actually I'm not. So anything that's dependent on exploitation, pollution, harm, where the process itself is harmful. We don't have very much in the world today that's honest work now, do we? We've really gone down here. A fair exchange, actually meeting people's needs, where the process itself is honest, where the process itself is beneficial, and that means both in the immediate and long term. Then I'd say the last thing would be intention. So Krishna makes a point of this, particularly. This is a great book, by the way. I mean, really, if you don't have it at home, please get a copy. So he makes a point of this particularly. Yes, here. In chapter 14, where he talks about the modes of material nature. And later, especially in 17 and 18, where Krishna goes through details of the modes of material nature. And there he explains that if your intention isn't good, you're externally doing the right thing, but your intention isn't good, then that puts you in what he calls the mode of passion, where he says you'll be happy in the beginning, but you'll be disappointed in the end. So even if apparently your means is meeting people's needs, your product is meeting or service is meeting people's needs, you're charging a fair price, if your intention is envious, prideful, malicious, that intention is also sowing the seeds of future suffering. So this may be kind of depressing, because it means that it's pretty hard even to get to the standard of honest work. And in fact, Krishna says also in the Bhagavad Gita that you're not going to find perfection materially in work. He says everything has some fault, like smoke is covering fire. So we're not going to get to perfectly honest work. That's basically impossible, especially at the present time in human history. Well, that's not the worst of it. And I'm really sorry that I'm going to say something right now that's kind of depressing. But don't worry, we'll fix it by the end of the class. Honest work doesn't have any meaning or value. Even if you could have perfectly honest work where you were meeting people's needs, your process was meeting people's needs, it was a fair exchange, you had good intention, it still wouldn't be meaningful. Let's think for a minute, how do we normally think of meaning? We think of meaning and value as making something better, fewer fewer children are going to die of malaria because of my work, either directly because I'm working in medicine, or indirectly because I'm using the money I get from working to give to charity, or indirectly because I'm advocating for different medical procedures in the world. There's going to be more children who are healthier than before. We define value as I'm having some kind of absolute increase in something good. Or we sometimes define value in terms of an increase of time. Something's valuable if it lasts for a long time. So if something lasts for 200 years, you start a bank, you start a school, and it goes on for 200 years. We think that's valuable. I mean, time is a little bit interesting, that we consider something valuable if it lasts for 200 years, but not as valuable if it lasts for only 20 years, and hardly any value at all if it lasts for 20 minutes. Although, in the grand scheme of things, as far as universal time, 20 minutes and 2,000 years is practically the same. And everything ends. There's no country or civilization or project or anything that goes on, and the knowledge becomes lost. One may think, well, I'm going to add to human knowledge, and even after I die, it will go on. But will it? I'm sure you're familiar of the archaeological and architectural wonders that have been found in South America. Huge blocks of stone that today we have no technology to lift them and carry them from the nearest quarry to where they are. They're put together without mortar. They fit together so neatly that not even a pin or a credit card can go between them. Nobody today knows how it was done. That technology, that knowledge has been lost. It may again be revived, and again it will be lost. So whatever we do, whatever value we do, whatever we create, will be lost and forgotten. In fact, most of us will be very, very quickly forgotten. So I always ask people, how many of you know all the names of your great-great-grandparents? I find maybe one in about 5,000 who know the names of all their great-great-grandparents. That means that our great-great-grandchildren will not know our names. What to speak of all the valuable things that we have done. That's the grandchildren of our grandchildren, by the way, that will not even know our names. So as far as an increase of time, that's mostly an illusion. Our names are forgotten, what we've done are forgotten, whether it's 20 minutes or 20 years or 2,000 years. And as far as doing an absolute increase in making something better, my dear friends, it is impossible. I'm sure you know in science there's something called conservation of energy. It means that neither matter or energy is ever what? Created or destroyed. We also know that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Well, well, well. That means you can never have an absolute increase without a corresponding decrease someplace else. Let's think about this for a minute. In a world where there's a conservation of energy, where everything will go back to the equilibrium, where nothing is ever created or destroyed, you cannot create an absolute increase. And where everything has an equal and opposite reaction, whatever good I do will have a corresponding suffering in equal measure for me or for somebody else. There is never an absolute increase in good. That's not the worst news. It gets even worse. We talked about how sociologists, psychologists, they say that we need to find purpose and meaning. But it needs to be me. who creates that meaning. It's not just that I can work in a job where someone else creates the meaning. There has to be a sense that I am creating it. Even on the platform of illusion of getting better. Okay, maybe I don't see the equal and opposite right in front of my eyes. I helped 20,000 children get free from malaria, and I'm not aware of the equal and opposite reaction. Maybe I'm not aware that another 20,000 children worked in slave labor to develop the medicine I'm using. I don't see that. I just see the increase. But even then, am I really the agent? Am I really the doer? Ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. You're a fool, you're a mudha, he says. Krishna's word, not mine. If you think that you are the doer. So why is that? Let's say I do some good for you. But see, I can only do good for you if you've earned it. I can only be like the UPS delivery person. I can't create your good. Just think about this for a minute. If I could create your good, then couldn't I also create your bad? Would that be very fair? If I could create undeserved good for you, if I could create something good for you that you didn't deserve, materially speaking, then I'd have to be equally capable of creating bad for you that you didn't deserve. Would you want to live in a world like that? Where other people have the agency to create things for you that you didn't deserve? No. And the world is set up like that. If you deserve something good, I might be the delivery person for the agent, or I might be the delivery person for something bad as well. But it's not really agency on my part. I'm not really doing something. I'm not really doing good for you. In fact, when I do good for others, which we should do good for others, even in this illusion, the only person I'm really benefiting is myself. I'm creating good karma for myself. But remember, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If I create good karma for myself, it has to be through some kind of sacrifice or suffering on my part. If I willingly sacrifice and take some difficulty to do good for you, then I get an equal opposite reaction for the difficulty I've taken, in that I get something good that comes back to me, that brings everything back into balance. Oh my goodness. So I'm not really the agent for good for you, and even for me, all I'm doing is getting things back into equilibrium. Oh my goodness, and it gets even worse than this. Even worse. Oh, maybe you shouldn't read this book. I don't know. You could just go on in illusion, or you could read the book, as you like. So in the 5th chapter, it says that while we're sitting and walking, actually we're not doing anything. We're just the observer. And it says that also 13:30. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created by material nature, and who sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. This world is like some kind of big computer game or virtual reality. You know, I've never played a computer game, but I've seen people play them, and I'm sure some of you have played them. And so, you know, you're manipulating the character on the screen. And the character on the screen is jumping and running and fighting monsters and winning money. Are you fighting monsters and winning money? No. You think so, right? And there's a same kind of illusion, not to the same extent, happens if we watch a movie or a TV show or read a book. And you identify with the character, and the character's jumping from one building to the next. You say, yes, I'm jumping from one building to the next. And the character wins the beautiful girl or the handsome man and lots of money and so forth, and yes, this is my victory, you know. But then you turn off the movie or the TV show, and you look at your partner, and they're not quite what the person in the movie looked like. You know, and it's so there's an illusion that I'm doing something, but I'm not. I'm just witnessing. We are different from this body. We are different from this body and this mind. This body and this mind, Yantra Rudrani Maya, are just a machine. just like a computer, and we are simply desiring. We're doing something. We're desiring, like in the computer game, you're moving the mouse or the joystick or the typing the keys on the keyboard, but you're not really doing what it appears that one is doing. One is only witnessing. In fact, one of the results of doing any kind of meditative or contemplative practice is that one starts to understand, oh, I'm just the observer. The thoughts, the emotions, the actions, as we were reading 5th chapter, 13th chapter, they're not me. I'm simply watching. All right, this is a problem. I can't create an absolute increase because nothing's ever created or destroyed. It all goes towards equilibrium. I can't create any kind of increase because whatever increase I create one place, there's a decrease someplace else. I'm not really the doer of anyone's benefit because all I'm doing is delivering the results of their own karma, which they would get anyway, even if I wasn't there. And I'm not even doing anything at all. I'm simply witnessing. Well, what will we do? Does this mean our quest for meaning and value is hopeless? If it was hopeless, why would we all of us, every single one of us, want meaning and purpose? Where would that desire come from in a world where actual meaning and purpose is an impossibility? If I go underwater, I want to breathe air. A fish underwater has no desire to breathe air. The fact that I want to breathe air underwater is indicative of the fact that I am a creature of the air, and that air must exist somewhere. Why would I have a desire for something impossible? Where would it come from? There must be a reality in which meaning and value are possible. That means there has to be some reality where there is an absolute increase without a corresponding decrease, and where I can be actually the agent of that increase. What was the verse again that we read at the beginning? Does anyone remember? In this endeavor there is no loss or diminution. Oh my. That's right at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. In this endeavor there's no loss or diminution. There's something you can do where there's no corresponding loss. There is a realm of absolute increase. And in that realm, I actually have agency. All right, how does that work? How can there be an absolute increase? This is nicely explained in another book, the Sri Isha Upanishad, or the Isha Upanishad. Do we have Isha Upanishads out there too? Maybe someone can get one. Could you get an Isha Upanishad? There's a school that I visit sometimes in London where the children are all taught to chant Sanskrit. They chant Sanskrit so beautifully. It sounds like they're from a celestial planet. And when I visit this school, for the first time, the student said to me, "Would you like to hear the perfect mantra?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." How much do we sell this book for? $5. Very cheap. Hopefully you can. And again, if you already have this at home, please get one for your friend. It was interesting. I was speaking recently in Johannesburg at Wits University on education in South Africa, and I was quoting from this book, but they said, "You can't show that book in South Africa." I said, "Well, why not?" And they said, "Well, there's snakes on it, and the Africans don't like snakes, so they won't get this book." But these are divine snakes. They're not ordinary snakes. They're wonderful snakes. Anyway, so here, there's the perfect mantra. Maybe those of you know it, you can say it with me. Om Purnam Mada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. So the literal meaning of this mantra, this perfect mantra, is this is complete, that is complete. From the complete comes. If you take the complete away from the complete, still the complete remains. When you have the infinite, infinite minus infinite is infinite. Absolute increase. You can pull increase from the infinite, and the infinite remains infinite. Indeed, it's explained in the Bhagavatam, which we also have some Bhagavatams out there. It's explained in the Bhagavatam that the infinite is always increasing without any loss or diminution. The infinite is always increasing without a corresponding decrease. Who or what is this infinite? There's 4 descriptions of the infinite. One is of the universal form, which is very nicely described again in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 11. Yes. It's also nicely described in the Bhagavatam. I don't have a Bhagavatam here to show you, but there are some out on the table. In the Bhagavatam, especially in what canto? 2nd canto, and also in the 12th canto. One can understand the infinite as the universal body. One can understand the infinite also as Brahman, the undifferentiated great light of oneness. One can understand the infinite as the Param Atma, the super self, the soul of each of us, the soul of the soul of the universe, the witness, the neutral friend and observer. And one can understand the infinite as the supreme person, the youthful and playful and charming Krishna. No matter how one conceives of the infinite, whether as the universal form, as the great absolute light, as the soul of the universe, or as the supreme person, the infinite is full of love. In every tradition, the infinite is described as being full of love, mercy, and grace. Those words indicate a giving without a corresponding decrease. If it's grace, if it's mercy, if it's love, then you're giving without it being transactional, without it being fair. You're simply giving to give out of love and grace and mercy. And the infinite is wanting to give this love and grace and mercy infinitely to everyone. So what is the first way that we can have real meaning? The first way is to have an absolute increase in ourselves. Now, if the infinite, whether as the universal form as Brahman Paramatma or Bhagavan Sri Krishna, is desiring to give us infinite love and mercy, then the way that we actually, truly, really, genuinely, authentically use our agency is we choose to receive that infinite grace without payment. You might say, well, wait a minute, Urmila, but every religion, including the Hare Krishna movement, you have all kinds of sadhanas and practices and rituals that you do. Is that not a payment? Are you not earning? No. It's not a payment. It's not some austerity by which we balance the increase. It is a way of removing the blocks to receiving that infinite increase. In fact, if one thinks by my religious actions I am paying for the grace of the infinite, that very mentality is an offense that blocks us from receiving the grace of the infinite. Right? To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic functions mentioned in the Vedas as fruitive activities or karma kanda. That's an offense. If we think I am earning infinite grace. No. It is simply removing the blocks. And what are the blocks? Well, one of the blocks is thinking I'm the infinite. Isn't that what I'm thinking when I'm trying to create meaning and value on my own in this material world? Aren't I thinking I am the infinite? I'm thinking I'm going to be the agent of an absolute increase for somebody. Whether it's my family or all the starving children in some country, all the animals or whatever. As soon as I'm thinking, I am going to be the agent for an absolute increase in this world, I'm thinking I'm the infinite. How can I receive the grace of the infinite if I think I'm the infinite? Not possible. Another block is wanting to be the doer in this world. This is the irony. When I want to be the infinite, I block myself from the infinite. When I want to be the doer, I block myself from actual agency. I'm going to change things. I'm going to fix things. I'm going to right the world, and my statue will be in the park. My name will be in the history book. My grandchildren's grandchildren will know my name. Maybe not the rest of you, but me. This feeling that I am the doer, I am the changer, that blocks us from being open and willing to receive something that's not earned. So in every bona fide religion, the rituals, the processes, the prayers, the sadhanas, originally, of course, in time these things change to something else. Dharma becomes adharma. But the original purpose is simply to let go of this idea that I am the infinite and I am the doer. And let us be open to the infinite grace that Bhagavan Sri Krishna already wants to give us. That, my dear friends, is a true act of my will and my agency. I am actually doing something there. Different from the world of illusion. So I do something, and by doing that something, that letting go and having the receptivity and the openness and the desire, as Krishna nicely explains, this is a great book. Please get yourself a copy. He nicely explains, only $10, right? Yes. All right. That is such a bargain. This thing should be at least 30. All right, so he nicely explains in Bhagavad Gita 12, 11, 13, 12, okay. 12:9. He says, Abhyasa yogena tato mam ichapitam dhananjaya. The purpose of Abhyasa yoga, the purpose of practicing yoga, the purpose of any religious rituals or formulas is to develop this icha, this desire. I want to receive an absolute increase from the infinite. I mean, that's kind of another block. We kind of like the idea that we have to pay for things, isn't it? We like the idea that we deserve things. I mean, even when we get a gift, if you won the lottery, don't play the lottery, but you know, people who win the lottery, or if you got a big inheritance from your great-great aunt that you never even knew her name, you know, and all of a sudden you get $50,000 from this great-great aunt because she had no kids. And then you're thinking, you know, the reason I got this inheritance money is that I'm such a good person. I mean, so even when we get apparent luck, we tend to think, I deserve it, right? It's hard to let go of this idea that I'm the doer and I'm the infinite. I'm earning my way. So the rituals of religion, the practices of religion, abhyas yoga, practice yoga, is to give us the icha, the desire. Let me let go of this idea that I'm earning on the doer, and let me receive infinite grace. When we act in that way, whatever work we're doing, I mean, not that you could run like a mafia brothel, but you know, whatever honest work you're doing has to first be honest. Whatever honest work you're doing becomes then meaningful. And it gets even better. The most amazing thing is that I can be a real, true, authentic agent for an automatic, absolute, real increase in other people by desiring that the infinite give them an absolute increase. There will then be an absolute increase in their life that wasn't there before, and that's there because of me. If I desire others to receive the absolute grace of the infinite, the mercy of the infinite follows the desire of the connected soul. This is nicely described in the beginning portion of the Madhurya Kadambini by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. If in my work, whatever it may be, if I desire that others receive this absolute increase of infinite grace, and I use my agency to help them achieve it, then I do something that is eternally, always valuable. I become the co-creator of something that didn't exist before. Now, for very great souls who are completely filled with the energy of the infinite Bhagavan Sri Krishna, just by being on earth, they accomplish that. They are walking tirthas. They are walking portals. Just like, you move around with your cell phone to find a hotspot, right? And you can use your phone as a hotspot for somebody else's phone, right? So if you're fully filled with this absolute increased grace of the infinite, you become like a walking hotspot. And anyone who comes near you also connects with the infinite. You become a walking tirtha just by existing. That's a very high level. But even if we're just somewhat filled with this absolute increase, if we desire for others and endeavor to give others, but if we're not on the highest platform, we're told that we should have some discrimination. We shouldn't, as Jesus said, throw our pearls before swine for them to trample it. So because it's an absolute unearned increase, we're not exactly looking for people who've earned it, because it's not something you can earn, but we're looking for people who have some receptivity. Maybe they're curious. Maybe they're just looking for answers in life. Maybe they're just trying to be a good person and do honest work. And when we find people who have the tiniest bit of receptivity for receptivity, even a precursor for receptivity, we use our agency, we use our will to ask the infinite to give that person some absolute increase. And even the smallest amount of absolute increase feels so different than the ordinary material transactional benefits, that as soon as you have a little taste of it, you go, wow, what was that? So how can we do that? Well, we can give people one of these books. We can give people food offered to the Lord. We can tell people the holy name. We can even, if you think those things are too hard for you, so we can even do something really wonderful in Bhagavad Gita 12:13 through 20. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor, equal in happiness and distress, for whom no one else is put into difficulty, who's not disturbed by anyone, not dependent on the ordinary course of activities. Just if we act like that, we're able to give others in our association a taste of this absolute increase. And then it doesn't matter, as Krishna says in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, exactly what work you're doing. It doesn't need to be honest work. You can't be a thief and a murderer, etc. It doesn't matter, other than those things, it doesn't matter what one is doing. It doesn't matter, if you're a software engineer, or we work in financing, or you're a medical doctor, IT specialist. Anybody here have any other careers other than those? It doesn't matter which of the, what career you have. If in that job, if in your work, you make yourself receptive to receiving an absolute increase from the infinite, and you desire and work towards others also achieving it, then the work itself has eternal and real value. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktira hoksujaya hoitu kiya pratyata yadyatma supersediti. That's in the Bhagavatam. I don't have a Bhagavatam to show you, but they're out there. That work satisfies us because it's real. So I invite everyone, including myself, I'm also going to invite myself to do real and valuable work, not to be caught up in the illusion of simply moving around matter and energy, creating an increase, apparently an illusion creating an increase that simply has a corresponding decrease and where I'm not the creator anyway, and then at the end being simply disappointed. What did I really accomplish in my life? But to come to this level of absolute increase. It's not hard. In fact, it's our natural state. And Krishna says, any endeavor, swalpa, even the smallest endeavor, is worthwhile. Even if we just get a small taste of an authentic, absolute increase, even the smallest taste changes our life. As it says in the Bhagavatam, one moment even of pure consciousness makes the whole life worthwhile. What to speak if we give it to others. So thank you very much. I do want to say that I joined the Hare Krishna movement in Chicago, in the temple of Kishore Kishore. I actually joined on the day that Kishore Kishore were installed, and which was on June 17th. You know, June 7th, almost, 1973. So I was going to be speaking at the Kishore Kishore temple, but because of their water problem, I wasn't able to do it. But I begged my host, can I at least go see Kishore Kishore somehow or other while I'm here? So I only have one window of opportunity, and that is now. So I am going to be running out the door. I really apologize if you had questions or comments. I'm sorry. I'm running out the door, and I'm going to go see Kishore Kishore. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. I don't know if you can hear me. Wanted to thank Urmila Mataji on behalf of the congregation. Thank you so very much for Sunday Feast lecture as well as the Manashiksha seminar. Thank you, Mataji. Hope you will come again and bless us with your association in the near future. Please give a Hare Bol to Mataji. Coming attractions, we are having this Journey of Self-Discovery seminar series presented by Her Grace Prema Tarangini Mataji in the coming 5 weeks. These seminars, they have been very effective. A lot of people have attended it and highly benefited by these seminars. So any one of you interested in attending, you can please contact. I think she just stepped out of here, but you can get the information from our website, or is there someone else who would like to step in her place to explain what this is? Is there somebody here? I'm just looking around. You can get the information at the book table if you are interested, or you can find it on our website. Or Amrita Keli Mataji, can you please take the questions if anybody has information needed for Journey of Self-Discovery series? Yes, thank you. That will be 5 consecutive weeks. It's happening on Saturday evening time, 6 to 7:30 p.m. It will be here in Naperville Center. Then in the month of July, Arudha Devidasi Mataji is coming to give a seminar on conscious parenting. That information is also available on our website. Anything else?
A black BMW X1 is blocking, and there are people waiting for the car to be moved because there are many people they are waiting to go. So if you have a if your car is a BMW X1 black car, please move it like right now.
Yep. Today's Sunday feast is sponsored by 4 different families. Seturaman Babu, seeking Krishna's blessings for friends and family. Saravanan Prabhu is celebrating son Anirudh's birthday. Parents of Shivani and Vishnu, they are celebrating their child's birthday. And Raj Raghav Prabhu is celebrating wife Anu's birthday. So is any one of these families here? Can you please come and receive? Yes. Thank you so much, Seturaman Prabhu. I think Raj is here. Raj is here. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anu is here. Can you please come and receive some prasadam? You can give. You can. I don't know. I don't see them. Huh? Sharavanan Prabhu? No? Okay. Can you please chant after me? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. If anyone is interested in sponsoring Sunday Feast, you can contact there is our Abhay Prabhu. There is one other important announcement, that is on June 23rd, we are expecting His Grace Gaura Gopal Prabhu. Most of you are familiar with him. We are having a program at Metia Valley High School at 6:30 sharp. So you can find the information on the social media and on the website everywhere. Kind of the news has spread everywhere by now. But if you have any questions, you can ask Shyam Prabhu. Anything else you need to announce about it?
I think everybody's coming. Are they?
Is anybody here coming? Can I see a show of hands who is attending this program? May 23rd. Those of you who, sorry, June 23rd. If you don't know who Gaura Gopal Prabhu is, you can just Google and you can find out. Okay? Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna.